get things started. Might help if I clear up some space for myself here for what I'm about to do. Got a heap of bench space and yet I somehow managed to waste it. Hey Travis, Andre. It's also very late this evening, but I just finished coding a bunch of stuff, so yeah, after the coding session I'm like, that's it, I've got to have a calm down time, and so for me, calm down time means repairing a MacBook. Alright. Okay Travis, we'll enjoy it. Ah, Jim, you're here, good evening to you. And Gabor Sromi, is it? Good evening to you, Pierre, Tonto, Miles. Ah, Soderbridge is here. Okay, so Soderbridge is going to want a SMC rebuild. I'm not sure if I can give that to him. Okay, let's see. So this is the A1466 we were working on the other night, the one that has the weird DC IN board issue where the power, you can see on here just that the power LED is on with the Chipmunk, but the 5V LED is not on. And you notice we're also not really getting any green blinks. So I'm not really sure what's wrong with it. I've ultrasonic the board. It's still misbehaving. It kind of feels like there's something in there, like an obstruction, but I can't see it. Whereas, I mean, these ones rock too, so... Anyway, so we're going to shut this down. It's been running all day with, what do you call it, with the Valley test on it, so it's done well, it hasn't crashed, so that's good. Shut down. Hey, Eddie Painter, Andrew. Everything's an SMC issue to you, Soderbridge. Okay. I just realized I gotta disassemble this one off screen. Actually, you know what? Stuff it. You guys don't get to force me to have to do it off screen. I'm gonna do it on the bench, but you have to put up with my face. Seems fair to me. Hey, Steve K. Could be a stuck number key. But yeah, the coding issue was driving me mad. Basically what was happening is I'm adding OpenSSL or secure socket layers type thing to Flex board view so that I can do queries to the open board data server for the information. Now, there's no real personal information being passed to the open board data server, but you know, people feel better if it's all being done in SSL. So fair enough. And I got the not the Windows, I got the Linux version working well enough, but my goodness, trying to get the Windows version to go, that was a nightmare. A lot of the problem was actually because the CMake find tool, find module for OpenSSL just did not want to play ball. Needless to say, 6 hours later and I finally got it to compile. But that was definitely a lot more of a nightmare than I wanted. Yeah, sometimes it just goes that way when you're doing cross-compiled projects. But once you get them up and running, that was the wrong one there. Once you have them up and running, then being able to cross-compile from the one platform is definitely a significant blessing. Okay, I'm just going to take this DC IN board out and have a look and see what's causing all the drama. Andre, I don't know where I got this one from, but I've had it for a while now. I think Alita bought it for me for Christmas or something. Morning, Greg. Mike Sims, it's not yet public release. It will be coming out sometime soon. That's why I'm busy like a madman trying to get it done. Okay, we've got a little bit of corrosion under there, but that shouldn't really be causing any problems. Oh, the microscope. This is the downside of using the USB ones. Yeah, I'm trying to fix it, okay? So don't be whiny little brats. For whatever reason, okay. For whatever reason, when it goes black like that, if I go and change the color range from full to partial and back and forth, it brings it back. I don't know why. Yeah, those two are fine. Oh, right, there we go. There's our problem. But the real problem is, what are the values and what are they? Because we do not have board views for these. So we have to sort of guess. I'm going to say one of them's a filter. And unfortunately it does look like it's taken out that chip though. Or has it? And I've said before, you know, I used to get mocked for trying to repair these DC IN boards, but quite frankly, the fact that they're $80 a piece now, at least Australian, I think I was doing the right thing. Let's try to see if there's anything underneath at the back there, because it doesn't sit entirely flush. No, can't see anything. Oh, there's a little bit of junk there. We'll get that out. Steve, I just got to get a... Are you talking about just in terms of the space I have here, or are you talking about the computer setup? If you're talking about the computer setup, I actually just need to get a capture card. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the appropriate probe for this task that I want to perform. Andre, no, I've never done a memory upgrade. I can't really see the economic benefit of it. It's a lot of work, not a guaranteed payoff. It's pretty risky, really. Okay, that's sitting in there a little bit better. It certainly sits butted up against the back properly now. Alright, but the problem we have is we don't know what those two little suckers are. So I'm going to get another DC IN board and measure them. Everything, start all over. Ah, no thanks. That's a little bit too much money for me to bite down on, I'm sorry. Okay, so it looks like two resistors. We're going to rotate them and measure them. I kind of need something to hold this board though. Ow. I would certainly be happy to get a new machine. This is, you know, this is sort of getting a little bit painful at times. It's a i5 8400, so 8th generation. And I mean, it's not that bad, but I am running on the marginal level of performance, especially when you have multiple cams like this. I'm just going to pickle the ends to make it a little easier to rotate. Well, this may have to be a sacrificial one. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get these without doing damage. Hey, Michael Kiram, Tony, and Michael Billman, sorry. Not Billiman. Now you have to rotate these resistors off the pad, or one pad, because otherwise you won't get a true value. What you'll get instead is the value of the net. Yeah, Christian, I'm almost always using internal GPU. I'm not really a fan of using dedicated GPUs for these systems, particularly on Linux. In part because I run them pretty much 24/7, and I find that dedicated GPUs just have a bad habit of running a lot of power even when they're doing pretty much nothing. Alright, so let's see, we got... Yep, okay, so this one on the right. $22.2K, that's a little weird. I'm going to guess this is a voltage. Oh, I know what this is. These are current. This here, this pair, this one will also be 22.2, I bet. Yep. Okay. This chip, it's the current restriction chip for the USB port, and those two resistors there collectively make up a value of 44.2 or something like that, and that sets the current limit to about I think it's about 2 amps or something on these boards. But yeah, this chip here that you can see, that should be the same. What do we got? 2557 Texas Instruments 6873. It should be the same as what you get on most USB current limiting ends over here. Let's have a look at this one. Where are you? Yeah, here we go. 2557 Texas Instruments, so yeah, that's it there. And then these two resistors here, they're the ones that again set the current. So that's it there. 2557. So what's probably happened is one of those resistors went really high, and because it's such a high value, it won't let very much current at all pass through. Okay, and this is actually my test board. This is the real one. So that's good to know. If I can just get the thing to sit in the... because that means that's actually quite repairable. But yeah, my guess is the resistors have just gone crazy high, that's all. And it looks like the chip may need replacing, we'll see. Hey Walter, welcome. Yeah, Andre, I had some earlier GPUs. You know, they weren't even hefty ones. They were just entry level things like 550 or something like that. I can't remember. And they would get toasty hot even when I was doing basically nothing. And I thought, at that point, I was like, no, look, I just can't handle this. And that's when I pretty much went to using Intel GPUs the whole time after that. I mean, fine if you're gaming, and it's what you want, but when I'm just simply doing text work, and it's like, nope. Yeah, these have been difficult little SOBs. Yeah, one off. Yeah, you can see the pads pretty much ruined there. Two off. Did your iron die? Is it just a bad tip, or is it the actual main control unit that's dead? I think I might take that cap off too. It looks pretty dodgy. I'm gonna have to speculate what that cap is. The whole thing using an FM203. Well, you know, the FM203 is pretty good. Oh, g'day, Prater. Yes, it has been a while since I've seen you here. Bad timing on my behalf, I dare say. Soften up that flux. Makes you realise how small the area is. I mean, that I'm going to have to use some of these make-up pointed ones instead. There. And it looks like I've rocked out of the clasp. Alright. Okay, now the value that they use, the 22.1K, it's a bit of an odd value. So we're going to actually just use a 22K or something like that. And these are 201s. Might be in my other one. I'm pretty sure I got 22K 201s. Anyway, it's not super critical in this situation. The other option I could do is just go for something like 47K and then use a 0 ohm to jump to the next one. 47. Like I said, it's not critical. It just sets the upper limit of the current that it will let through. Okay, I've got 20Ks. Oh no, I've got 22K. Alright. So we're going to use a pair of 22Ks. It will result in a maximum current being fractionally higher. but it's pretty much within the range of tolerance. Hey Solaris, oh cool. I actually have to get my hands on the new Diablo 2, the one that they upscaled. I'm very much looking forward to playing Diablo 2 in something more than 800 by 600. Given how suckful Diablo 3 really was, if you were a fan of Diablo 2. I mean, maybe Diablo 3 was a great game in its own right, but if you're a Diablo 2 fan and you bought 3 thinking it was going to be a continuation, well, that was just a downright horrible disappointment. There's just something about the gameplay of Diablo 2 that is very hard to beat, sort of thing. There's something profoundly enjoyable about it. That's okay, Walter. We're talking about a game that came out in 2000. Alright, so now we have to work out what this cap was, roughly. Now, it's coming off the ground. Yeah. It's probably going to be something like 100 nanofarad or whatever. But what I'll do is I'll rotate it off here, and then we will see if we can get a measurement of it. Capacitors are inherently a lot more troublesome to get good readings from. Well, Diablo 2 is about the last game I really bought. And from there, things like Steam really sort of took over, and buying games, well, you just sort of get the free ones that are on Steam. Was it 1999, was it? Okay. Alright, so we're going to jump into capacitance mode, which I think, Farad? Yep. This is like a picofarad level thing. This is, yeah, 60 picofarads, 47 picofarads, 50 picofarad. It's just a little puffer cap. And now all of a sudden it's changed. Alright, it's looking more like a 100 nanofarad, which is about what I expected. Yeah, I'm going to say 100 nanofarad. We'll put something like a 16 volt one down, and that will cover us for pretty much everything. It is connected to the USB. Okay, maybe we'll put 25 volt because we do occasionally see, 18 volts coming into this assembly. I could connect it up and measure it. I'll see what I've got in the kit anyway. Okay, so 201 cap. Do I have 201s in here? 402, 402, 402, 402, 402, 402. You're a 402 too. Right, my 201s are lying on the floor somewhere. There they are. Okay, 201, 100 nanofarad, 16 volt. It just reminds me I better put the 22k resistors back. I also need to write 22k on this strip. I do see that some stores now, like DigiKey I think it is, are printing the value of the parts on the back of the paper strips. So like, see here I'm having to write, you're not going to 22k on the strip so I know what it is if it gets out of the bag. But yeah, I believe DigiKey or Mouser or someone is now printing the values on the back of those strips for you. It's just one of those small things that can make such a big difference. Hey JCT. I'm just going to see if I've got a 25 volt, 10 volt, 6.3, 6.3, 6.3, and we do. Yeah, we've got a 25 volt version. We're going to use that merely out of an abundance of caution. What I could really do is just plug that in and measure it. But it seems like more drama than it's worth for the moment. And that one just flew off. Interestingly, I can see there's another part there. That would be a lost 22k resistor. Nothing you can do about that. Once they come out of the strip, for your own sanity, do not put them back in the strip. Okay, it's just not worth it. Because one day you'll get it wrong, and you'll put the wrong part back in the strip, or the right part back in the wrong strip. When it's something like this small, and then you will use that part later and subsequently damage something, all because you're trying to save 1/10 of a cent. Now, while it's admirable to do that, I don't recommend it in these scenarios. Yeah, that's a little bit wonky, but hopefully it should do the job. Hi Basil and Catherine, welcome. Alright, so there we are, wasting time apparently repairing a MagSafe. So I used to be mocked for repairing MagSafes. Now it's something that we all have to do. So what do you want to use? What do you want to repair a MagSafe for, Paul? They're only worth $10. So now they're about $80 Australian, about 40 to $50 even from AliExpress. There's value in repairing them. Oh, and the pest control people arrived today, so we have taken the first step, or second step, towards having the back patio closed in. They laid down some sort of like thick grey paint of some kind where the slab has a gap in it between the patio and the rest of the house, the main slab. And I suspect it's either a deterrent for the termites or it's an actual killer of the termites. I'm not really sure. Either way, it's to prevent termites, or at least inhibit them. Yeah, Miles, that's quite true. A lot of them probably went straight into the trash, never to be recovered, but they would be useful donors now. Fingers crossed this actually works. Hey, Gibbo, weren't you here just a little while ago? Or was that last night? My memory's given up on me. Alright, that's much better. Let's see when it comes up. Yeah, much better, much better. Okay, so it's fixed. Friends don't give friends Diablo 3. That is very true, yes. Oh, crikey, I just realised. Good thing that's a pale screen. So that was that. Nice to know that it uses standard USB current limit power switch. That is what the main board does. Okay, I'll stick this back together, which of course now I have to do off screen. Thank you, Joseph. You're always on the ball with that. Just realised my big fat head's kind of cutting into the... Let's see if this can... Okay. Yep, a lot of running around just to change a small edge. Yes, Skivo, this is the one that... Well, it's been in a couple of days, actually. It was the one that we fixed, and then we found that the MagSafe side USB port was only producing a very limited amount of brightness. And then we had a look at that, and we found that the current limiting power switch that controls the power to the USB port was the problem. It had corrosion on it. Well, there was the resistors that set the current limit were corroded, which means they probably went quite high, and this particular device or that particular chip it uses a range, I think, between 10k and 100k to control the amount of current. And the normal MacBook ports, they usually are set with a pair, they're set at 44.2k. So we set it at 44k because we only had 22k resistors. It's going to be just fractionally more than what was standard. Not enough to be a problem. Alright, now we can get on to the next one now that that's fixed. Hey Damaris, good evening to you. And Byron's here. Hello Byron. Like, it would have been just a bit of bad luck, a bug or something like that, or a spill. I mean, the board was in for a spill anyway. Okay, overhead. Just a bit of bad luck in that case, nothing more. Okay. Yeah, I'm using this as the very next one in the queue. You don't very often have that, funnily enough. Okay, I'll just have to... Pardon me. I just have to take off an identifying sticker. I try really hard not to reveal too much information, but you can forget sometimes, and you really don't want to accidentally dox someone. Barry, I have not. It's still I've still got the screwdriver jammed into the center console selector assembly. Does the job. I do have the little brick unit, but I just haven't had the time of day to pull the car apart and do it. Okay, so let's not knock off components like we've had some other people do. Hey Margarita. I'm waiting for Mark to turn up and thank him for the cat biscuits that he sent me. Biltong's all gone. All gone. By the way, for future reference, anyone who's considering it, plain biltong is my favorite. Plain, original, soft. I mean, I'm happy to experiment too, I do enjoy that. But in the end of the day, I do tend to go back to plain. Anyway, so let's have a look at this. Let's see, device does not power on. Test with the USB meter. None of the 4 ports take current. Alright. That's okay, Jim. You were having a good experiment. Anyway, Jim, you shouldn't be sending anything at all to me. In fact, if anything I see mysterious stuff coming from your way, I should just immediately return to sender. Ban you from that. You gotta be looking after yourself, Jim. Not me. I should be sending you money. There is a slight overall kind of liquid damage type of haze on this, but I can't actually really pin it down. Biltong is basically a nicer version of beef jerky. Beef jerky is a bit rough and tough in my opinion, but biltong is quite delectable. It's South African, so you know it's going to be good. The best biltong I find tends to be Springbok biltong or Kudu biltong, but beef beef biltong's good too. Okay, what is this board? I don't directly recognize this board off the top of my head in terms of what its number is. It's not an 850. Yeah. Okay, not really sure what I'm looking at here. I think it's an older board than what I'm anticipating. This has got touch bar too. James, and happy birthday for Sunday for you, good sir. That's a whole one day before mine, I think. I've got to make sure that I disable Facebook's notifications of that, because I really, really, really hate people contacting me on my birthday like that. For me, the ideal birthday is the day that nobody knows it's my birthday. I almost got away with it a couple of times with my wife, with Alita. I think I got to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and honestly, she would have still not remembered, except her mother rang her up to talk to me, to wish me a happy birthday. And I think she said something to the lines of like, oh, I'm ringing up to wish Paul a happy birthday. And then, unfortunately, Alita realized at that point, obviously. And I was like, damn it, my plan has failed. I just don't like people contacting me on my birthday. I think the last good birthday I had was probably halfway into my 14th birthday, and from there on I've never been a fan of them, really. Let's see, Walter, trackpad cable from a few weeks ago, you spent 2 hours chasing chips. Yeah, I hate that. I hate it when you give out advice and then forget to follow it yourself. No, look, that's entirely normal, isn't it? 239, is it? I actually have a donor for this, but I have stripped that donor so many parts, it's not funny. Mike Sims, you are quite correct in fact there, yes. It is for everybody else's benefit and not for yours. Birthday parties after your teens are essentially for everybody else, not you. I just say to them that I don't want anything, I just want people to leave me alone. That is your gracious gift for me. I got too many things to get done, damn it. Got boards to fix, code to write, lots of stuff to do. I haven't got time for a party or having mindless chit-chat on the phone to someone I can barely hear and putting on airs of like, oh yeah, thank you very much, yeah, that's great. Oh yes, I woke up today and I had 2 pieces of toast, a shower. Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, love, appreciate you calling. Thanks. I'll speak to you later. Bye. Yep. So, yep. I could have been inventing something really interesting with those couple of minutes that you just wasted. So you're not sending some for Jim. We do need to make sure Jim is kept kept financially viable. The man's his own worst nightmare, though. Alrighty, well, we don't have any dramatically visible great stinking. Yes, we do, right there. Just seen. Oh yes, please let this be. Please let this be a classic shorted cap on the CD3215. I could really do with that. And no other damage, just that one. B-Dog. What I use and show you on screen, I wrote that software myself. That is, I have multiple packages on GitHub if you want to have a look at them. But that one there is specifically for this particular benchtop meter I have. I write the software specifically for the meter at hand. I don't have a generic meter software program. Let's see, I'll give you my GitHub address. Let's see, Inflex. It's just GitHub Inflex anyway. And you can see some number of the projects that I've done over the last approaching 40 years now. They're all mostly C, they're all mostly Unix based. Okay, that's weird. Okay. That one's fine. It was the other side, I think. Yee! Sorry, that's my excitement, yes. Alright, if we're lucky, it might be that cap. Might be. Ah, I got the crooked leg one. Yeah. Might be this cap. But, oh, it looks like that trace has actually been eaten right through. Wow, that would be even luckier. Dead trace? Come on, how... It's like an early birthday present. Especially considering this is underfilled. Alright, we'll give that a wash with some 80/20. And then repair what damage we can see there. The 80/20 is so if there are any water soluble parts down there, I can get rid of them. Yes, Linux is not Unix, not legally anyway. It's Unix-like. But for all intents and purposes, we can just say Unix. It's one of those things you just tolerate. It's a bit like when Lewis says JTAG connector, and it's not really a JTAG connector, but you just tolerate it. Is there a history behind the Inflex name? Let's see. The Inflex name came about, would have been the early 90s or something like that. It was just sort of inflection point, you know, point of turning around, point of change. And that was a bit too wordy, so I just changed it to Inflex. And then later on I found out there was a body workout product called the Inflex. I think I've outlived it though. To be fair, my name on the chat channels used to be just Jack. But I found Jack was a little bit too common, so yeah, I sort of started adopting Inflex a lot more. I did use Inflex as the name of one of my products for a while. It was my open source email filtering system, which was a little bit different to the AIMAVIS system, which was around at the same time. AIMAVIS at the time was a better scanning product overall. It was easier to install and things like that. But I actually created a sendmail rule set that allowed it to work on both inbound and outbound email traffic. And so we sort of copied each other's code. You know, we spoke to each other and everything. And so we just traded code. He got the bidirectional scanning, and I picked up a couple of bits and pieces of his code to make it easier for mine to install. So it worked out, you know, it was the friendly times. You don't find 80/20, you make it. I just, get 80 mils of isopropylene, 20 mils of deionized water or distilled water if you're lucky. Distilled is nicer. Mix it together and put in a container, and there you go. You've got 80/20. Oh, Duran. Now I remember them. Their big hit being, of course, A View to a Kill, with the last Roger Moore James Bond, which was about a guy who was destroying or could destroy all the computer chips, but he was producing ones that were protected against the EMF pulse. Alright, now the reason why I'm staring at that is I'm pretty sure that is a continuous trace, but I do want to verify that. And I'm going to do that by going into the board view software. Alright, yep, so the trace we've got is broken here. Now, is this resistor here? 5322, or is it a no stuff? That is indeed... looks like it should be there. Did anyone see a resistor there? I don't recall. I'll check on my donor. It's not listed as... oh, wait. That's interesting. It doesn't show up anywhere else. I'll check on that very brutalized donor that I have. It's not going to be a guarantee because I've actually... the things have been ripped off there. Yeah, that resistor is there. Alright. Okay, you can't see that. But basically this resistor is missing. It must have just come off when we were brushing. And without that, then this whole SMC USB-C interrupt line wouldn't really work so well along with that one. So yeah, that'll explain a few things. So this here is the resistor on my donor board. And we're going to take that and put it on the other board. We will have to create a bridging wire probably. I think I could do it with a little more heat. What is that, 10K? Could have got that from anywhere. In a bit close there. Ah, get off. Okay, thank you. This area is going to need a bit of a flux and boil, and then most definitely is going to need ultrasonicking. Fortunately, being underfilled, it's not too much of a problem for the CD itself. Hey DJ Craze. Okay, Walter, take care. Sorry to hear about doing the hospital run again. Oh, DJ Craze, you can't say we don't try and entertain. Now I just need a wire. Trying to decide whether we'll go with some crowbar wire or whether we'll go with some lint wire, or Litz wire rather, not lint. Lint's nice chocolate. This is crowbar wire. I call it crowbar wire because it's quite heavy compared to things like audio chip or fingerprint wire. Okay, I may have made this a little difficult for myself, but what's new? What doesn't help is the different refraction rates of flux versus air. So it makes it a little bit hard to grab on to things or know where you're supposed to stick things. I have no idea why that solder ball just appeared. This really is going to be a case of a great big blob will drop down and like that, and we'll basically say done. That probably could do a bit of a reflow. Bit of a reflow and let surface tension be our friend. You gotta remember, we do have an underfilled chip here, so we don't want to push our luck too far. I admittingly do want a bit more solder on this pad here. Just Kev, not really in this case. I could have used fingerprint wire. Not fingerprint wire, touch ID, oh whatever. It doesn't really matter because we are only doing a very small amount of power, as you can see. I mean, through 10k at 3.3 volts, what is that? 33 microamps. I'm probably off by a factor of 10 one way or another there. But yeah, you're right. The point is, it's a incredibly small amount of current and not really going to matter. More than anything, this was more about structural integrity. Okay, I just had to get that little dag of wire off, so we're good. Should be good now. After I've done all of that, I realised I really should have been checking the to see if that cap was shorted. Thankfully not. I have made one mistake here so far, at least one that I'm aware of, and that is I didn't check anywhere else on the board to see if there was additional corrosion. So I've kind of gotten a little bit obsessed with fixing that one without checking the rest, so fingers crossed this actually still works out quite okay. That's hopefully okay. We do at least get a boot. We have 20 volts and 800 milliamp. Come on, jump up to the 1 amp. 900. Yeah, I would say we are... I can feel the things getting warm. Okay, we've dropped back down to 370 now though. $400, $300. I say we just put this into the chassis and see how it goes. But at least things are coming up. Whereas before, when it came in, according to the ticket, there was no activity whatsoever. So if nothing else, we're ahead of what we were before. Okay, let's see if this thing boots. Well, we'll call it a partial win for the moment because we still haven't confirmed a boot yet. Yay! Apple logo. Right, got that crossed just in time. So we got a win. Let's stick my big buff head in the way now. Shut that down. Well, that was nice. That was nice to actually have a repair that went kind of routine, you might say. Now what I will do with this is, as per usual, once they do come up and boot, I like to make a time machine copy or something like that, you know, a backup of the data before I put it into the ultrasonic. The reason being is that there's enough times, pardon me, that these boards do not survive an ultrasonic. Like if there is another piece of critical corrosion somewhere that I've missed, maybe under the CPU or the PCH, unlikely, but yeah, that possibility. I like to make sure that at least the data's safe before I go to the next step. In most cases, ultrasonicking does not cause any harm, but sometimes it will reveal a very weak point that was going to fail in the near future anyway. So that's why I do the backup before putting it into the ultrasonic. Okay, we don't have any more time for more. It's half hour. Past midnight. I'm going to go back to coding now because I need to sort of keep on the momentum with it. I am happy to see that I've got the Windows and the Linux using the secure socket layers. Now I've got to do it with the Mac OS, so that's going to be the next time. Anyway, I'm out of here. You all take care. Thank you very much for being here. As usual, you know, subscribe if you can. It'd be appreciated. Make sure you hit the bells so that it notifies you. Let's see. What are you talking about? Never admit your imperfections. You're going to crush the... I'm always about that. Okay, I'm out of here. You all take care. Thank you very much. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Take care.